Hi, I'm Marwan Tarazi. I'm the director of the Center for Continuing Education. It's an outreach arm of Birzeit University into the community. I want to tell you about a powerful network Birzeit University is in the process of establishing. It's a regional network that will lead learning innovation across the region, catalyzing desperately needed educational reform. First, I would like to illustrate the problems facing our educational system in Palestine and the Arab world in general, using the TIMSS study results for 2003 and 2007. TIMSS stands for Trends in International Math and Science Study, implemented with 8th graders around the world. The table lists the country in the left column and scores on the right. As we scroll down the table, we see the international average highlighted in dark blue. Palestine is highlighted in red, and other Arab countries are highlighted in yellow. Unfortunately, we see that the Arab countries are all grouped at the bottom of the table, indicating low standing. Low and intermediate benchmarks represent the basic essentials expected from an educational system. High and advanced benchmarks represent students' ability to solve problems, think critically, innovate, and deal with complexity. The numbers speak for themselves. We are failing in the essentials, as indicated by the low and intermediate benchmarks, and performing extremely poorly in problem solving, innovation, creativity, critical thinking, and other essential skills that are indicated by the high and advanced benchmarks. In 2007, a greater number of Arabic countries participated in the TIMSS exams. Their academic results were just as disappointing. The rating for most of the Arab countries which had participated in 2003 dropped even further, which is really alarming. In this technological era, when global competition is driven by intellectual capital, the Arab region is falling behind. Not only are we failing to provide adequate education in the essentials, the 21st century poses a new set of challenges that require additional skills that are practically non-existent within the Arab educational systems. Those skills include problem solving, critical thinking, collaboration, technology know-how, entrepreneurship, communication skills, and continuous learning. These 21st century skills are crucial if our youth are to succeed, to build a productive economy and compete and contribute globally. Mental well-being is another critically important component in child's development that is missing from our educational systems. Our schools fail to teach coping skills to protect the mental well-being of our children. Today's world is highly stressful. Young people are particularly vulnerable to a wide range of pressures. Of course, special consideration has to be given to countries like Palestine, Lebanon, and Iraq, where studies have shown that an unusually high percentage of youth in these countries demonstrate symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder. It is essential that our schools equip children with the mental coping skills that are necessary to allow them to become emotionally healthy, mature adults, able to maintain positive relations, and ultimately build a healthy society. It is obvious that reform efforts face enormous challenges. Most of the teachers currently in the educational system are not academically qualified to teach. Educational curriculum is outdated and it's not even relevant to students' lives. Even when ICT is used in the classroom, it's utilized in a superficial, ineffective manner. The area faces a very serious shortage of a critical mass of experts that would be able to champion educational reform. As a result, many Middle Eastern countries are forced to depend on imported experts to support their economies because of the shortage of internal capacity. Unfortunately, the weakness of the education system as a whole constrains national competence in all sectors. Basic education, K-12 in the diagram, is extremely weak because teachers are poorly qualified. Teachers are poorly qualified because higher education institutions have serious limitations. Higher education institutions are weak because students into the higher educational system are graduates of the same poor basic educational system and hence lack the expertise to champion a reform process. The impact on the workforce and economy. MENA countries are producing a predominantly unskilled workforce. This workforce is flailing within a highly competitive, knowledge-driven global economy in a region which has limited capacity to absorb unskilled labor. The result? A regional workforce characterized by extremely high unemployment, especially amongst the youth, our greatest national assets and our future. In many countries, the problem is so severe that the issue is not so much of an unemployed workforce, but largely an unemployable workforce. Clearly, there is a dire need to intervene at all levels. But at which level will intervention have the greatest impact in the shortest amount of time? Universities are the natural site for development of the critical mass of experts, research, and institutional capacity required to lead an education reform process. Unfortunately, higher education institutions in MENA lack the capacity and tools to implement the necessary reform. This highlights the urgent needs for creating a pool of change agents. These are teams of learning innovation experts within MENA universities to lead the reform of basic education, tertiary education, vocational, and professional training. To be effective, any solution must also integrate innovation and technology. In this technological age, our youth must achieve fluency in technology to stay current with emerging best practice and remain effective members of society. More importantly, only through innovation and technology-supported learning will it be possible to implement cost-effective 21st century educational reform on the scale required. Innovation alone, however, is not sufficient. What is required is what we call STEAM models for educational reform. STEAM stands for scalable, models which can be easily replicated; timely, time is of an essence. In a very little place like Palestine, for example, each year 100,000 poorly educated students exit the educational system. In larger countries like Egypt, millions of students emerge from the educational system each year, unqualified to become productive citizens. Effective talks about quality, relevance, and impact. Affordable is an obvious one. Resources are extremely limited. We need to think of how to integrate technology and other innovations to facilitate cost-effective solutions for nationwide reform. And finally, manageable. This talks about comprehensive models which integrate change management to ensure that new methods and systems are institutionalized and sustained. Even though educational reform in the region faces serious challenges, there are exceptional opportunities. The power of knowledge, when used in a truly non-competitive developmental manner, is that it can be shared between partners, which in turn will advance education across the region at no cost to the participating institutions. In our approach, new curriculum, which is developed through this project, belongs to the whole consortium. This allows member institutions to share top-quality curriculum produced by partner institutions at no cost at all. This is what we call a win-win situation. This is how development should be practiced. The Center for Continuing Education, Birzeit University, initiated this reform process in Palestine in the late 1990s. It is a process that encompasses all of these components combined. Our initial work started with large Euro-Mediterranean projects with multiple partners. And those projects exposed us to variable concepts and models of e-learning while highlighting the key role of technology in scalability and cost-effective, widespread reform. This led to an extensive series of projects, each using the findings of earlier projects as its foundation. These projects piloted models in e-enabled curriculum development, teacher education, vocational and professional education, as well as basic education. Optimal projects and methods were subsequently scaled up, culminating in the creation of innovative higher education programs in learning development, the creation of learning innovation teams in 4 Palestinian universities and colleges, a teacher education degree for UNRWA teacher education colleges, and new designs for vocational education and youth leadership programs with the support of the EU, World Bank, UNDP, Cisco, Ford Foundation, CCC, Austrian Development Cooperation, and others. The way we did this in Palestine was to establish learning innovation teams. Those are highly skilled, multidisciplinary teams of professional learning innovation experts with specialized and complementary competencies. In this model, Birzeit University experts coach teams to enhance their capacity to innovate and catalyze learner-centric 21st century education. The teams emerge powerfully equipped to catalyze reform of formal and non-formal educational systems and create innovative solutions supported by technology. Finally, these teams are institutionalized, creating powerful nodes of expertise, learning innovation nodes, ensuring sustainable educational reform. Each learning innovation node works on two levels. First, at their own institution building capacity, innovating new projects and ideas. And second, institutionalizing advances at the consortium level, achieving wide-scale and regional reform through cooperative efforts. In Palestine, our goal was to create a critical mass of leaders and innovators capable of addressing educational reform, and this was done through innovation and outside-the-box solutions. This approach has proven highly successful. The development of learning innovation nodes across MENA will establish a powerful regional pool of expertise with the capacity to effectively design and lead education reform projects, transforming education across the Arab world. A regional learning innovation network will also allow Arab countries to share top quality curriculum and models at marginal or even no cost, advancing the region as a whole. Innovation in education is not a luxury. It is the only hope for creating productive and responsible citizens able to contribute to society and play an active role in the global economy. In the recent Arab Economic Summit, discussions focused almost entirely on the urgent need to reform education, noting that educational underachievement has constrained advancement of the Arab world as a whole. Learning innovation nodes will play a pivotal role in the success of educational reform throughout the Arab world. These nodes of excellence will catalyze MENA's capacity to create innovative solutions, keep up with, and even provide leadership within this fast-paced world. A regional learning innovation nodes network will also allow Arab countries to share top-quality curriculum and outstanding educational models. Potent models of educational reform will provide Arab students with cutting-edge 21st century skills and the ability to think critically, innovate, solve complex problems, provide leadership, and excel in technology. The establishment of learning innovation nodes will transform education and economic development across the Middle East and North Africa, advancing the Arab world as a whole.